Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me on Berets, coming to you late on a Friday night to talk to you about some stuff that is apparently broke today, and I would like to thank some people in the Discord who brought it up to me, so I appreciate the heads up, although I would have seen this, but thank you anyway. Alright, so Square Enix today had a kind of press presentation where they were talking about their non-Final Fantasy games for the most part. So they talked about Life is Strange, they talked about Project, the PlayStation 5 Project game that's looking pretty interesting. They've, over the past few days, talked about Final Fantasy VII Intergrade and the mobile remake and all that kind of stuff. But today, there was also talk about Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider, which is, of course, a classic a classic game in terms of the gaming space, with Lara Croft, and I'm getting a little away with myself. But the point is that there was a lot of stuff announced for this 25th anniversary of Tomb Raider. And beside the definitive edition, there was also some news that there was going to be a Final Fantasy Brave Exvius War of the Visions part of this. Now, this shouldn't be too surprising. Brave Exvius has had dealings with Lara Croft in the past. I do remember her being like a pretty... She was a free character in Brave Exvius, if I remember. That was so long ago. There really isn't much talked about at this point. We just know that there will be a crossover of some variety, and I mean, I feel like it's pretty easy to kind of guess what it's going to be. It is going to be a, Lara is probably coming to the game as a character. At the very least, we can expect a vision card and some kind of event, and I'm sure farming Lara Croft's guns will be part of it. In other words, farming up the recipes to get that done. Now, it wasn't announced either whether this is going to be a global thing or a Japanese side thing. I really hope that this is not our half anniversary thing. It's more than likely, given that the Japanese half-year anniversary is coming up in May, that if anything, Lara Croft is probably in April. And that's kind of the thing. I don't really know about this. I feel like they were desperate for a collaboration that was outside of the game. And this is my opinion part of what I think about this collaboration, is that I think that this is very much a, well, we needed some kind of special collaboration. What has Square Enix got? Well, they got Lara Croft. All right, that's a pretty big franchise. Maybe they'll bring characters or players in. And honestly, I don't know. Lara Croft has never been known to me as a strategy game. There might be some strategy variants. I'm not the biggest Lara Croft fan, although I did play the at least 2 of the new trilogy, and I really enjoyed that by Crystal Dynamics. But Lara Croft mixing with a tactical strategy game, it's interesting because we'll have a collaboration character. Nier has been put into the game already, so if they are to give us a character like Lara, I mean, for me, it doesn't really fit. I don't really care about it. I'm not going to spend money on it, and I don't know if this is going to bring in that Lara Croft audience who's just been really hungry for a incredibly grind experience. I don't know. I don't think that I don't feel like the audiences match at all, but maybe this was just them going to Square Enix and saying, what can you give us? And they're like, well, we have this. And it's like, oh, okay. Again, Lara Croft has had dealings with Brave Exvius in the past, and I didn't feel great about that then, and I don't really feel that great about it now, but it's happening. So if anything, I think that for anybody who's not interested in this, it's probably just a solid period to not use any resources in the game, regardless of how powerful she is. I just don't think it's worth it. All right. But we'll see when further details are coming out. I would expect, if anything, given that on the global side, they are about to go into their 1 anniversary, and that's Final Fantasy X. I would not expect this to be showing up on global anytime soon. I would expect this to be a Japanese side thing, but we'll wait and see. Alright, and the second thing of this video, as you have noticed about halfway through the video, perfect timing, is this. Wotv on the Japanese side has put out an in-game survey that, well, it takes you outside of the game, but the notification is in-game. If you complete it, you end up getting 200 lapis / currency in the game. And I did it myself. I went through it. I used a translator to help me get through stuff. Among the questions, we're asking questions such as, general statistics about who you are, what age group you fit in, that kind of basic stuff. Taking a look at, as it got further, it asked, what Final Fantasies, what gachas do you play and everything. And as it got more and more into it, it started to get, are you spending more time, less time in the game? What are your favorite 3 pieces of content in the game? There was a big, long list of basically everything from arena and PvP to side stories to characters events to selection quests. All of that kind of stuff was covered in there. And from there, it got even weirder as it started to ask, what animes / games are you currently addicted to? What a weird thing to ask. Yeah. Fishing potentially for what you can pander to your community with. That's the cynical side. I'm sorry, you guys, but this is interesting. Given that JP recently had a bit of a threatening moment where a lot of the whales threatened to quit if the cost of the game did not come down. Now we're seeing a survey put in game towards all the players to get feedback on what they thought about the game. There's all kinds of places in there that you can put opinions and everything about, what you think of the direction of the game. They do ask for, it's not just a all like multiple choice kind of thing. There is some places to actually write some feedback, and I definitely wrote mine. I'm not particularly happy with the direction of the game in some aspects. The fact that raids are so samey, why is the Carbuncle raid almost functionally and stat-wise the exact same as Golem? Summon Beast Magic, whatever excuse you want to put, it's just kind of copy pasta for a lot of this stuff. And that's the way a lot of content is. But yeah, it was an interesting thing because it asked whether or not you were playing more or playing less, whether you were playing seriously or casually. It is definitely, I think, a good thing for the game and the developers to have put this into the game to get feedback, because apparently they just don't know how frustrated people are in the game in general, even though, Japanese players are making their voices heard on Twitter, but apparently not, because even though they are tweeting their frustrations and anger about certain things in the game, we still need this survey, we still needed to be protesting, or, well, I guess it's kind of a protest, but like a strike against the general cost more recently about all the double cost characters, and just even whales got fed up. Again, I can't not emphasize how big of a thing that is when even whales are like, look, this game's just too expensive. And so some of the feedback I gave, if you're just curious, I thought the story overall is just not good right now. It should be more interesting. It should be more action in terms of what is going on, a little more dynamic. I just don't care that much about the 3 main characters, and you can tell that they're even a little bit worried about the game by the fact that there's a question in the survey of being like, when did you stop reading the story? That's an interesting thing to ask, and it's a little bit brutal when you're just like, this is the exact moment, or roughly the exact moment. There's an interest. It is. I don't want to undercut just with for me personally, it was a good moment of giving them feedback myself, and it's nice to feel like it's at least somewhat being acknowledged. whether or not it's taken hard or not. Like my favorite pieces of content are, side story, selection questing kind of a way, and just collaboration events to a kind of extent, although I did in the feedback segment say that the collaboration events need to be, more in depth. They need to have some interaction with characters in the Wotv universe and a whole bunch of other stuff. Like I put that out there. I put that personally because it's my answers. I think that less money should be going into VAs or voice actors. For anyone who doesn't know what that means. Less money into that. Really, I don't think that it's that great. I think that we should be spending our money on trying to get content, and you should hire more developers to make more content for us, more artists, all of that good stuff, so that we can have more things to do in the game that are not just grind. And the fact that I did say, there's just too much grind. I've been playing less because I'm just sick of constantly needing to grind all these new pieces of equipment, and feeling like they have a shelf life of approximately 2 weeks. All of that is very frustrating, and it's been building for a long time. So, I do hope that this goes to the global side, if globalers can log in. Haha, there's the joke. Seriously though, globalers, you gotta get on that. I think that this game really needs a strong wake-up call, and hopefully a lot of the Japanese players will get in on this and really make their voices heard about how frustrating of an experience it currently is, and that the game's too expensive and too time-consuming and too grindy. And you know what? If my account gets shut down because I gave them negative feedback, that there will be a video made about it, and I will raise some hell about it, because that's a hell of a response to ask for feedback, get feedback, and then because you have to put your player ID in, they, ban hammer. Nah, I mean, it probably won't happen, but I do want to bring it up just in case it happens. Tinfoil Hattie, maybe, but it does happen. Just think of the great YouTube video I'm going to be able to make. Yeah, overall, I'm happy to see them asking the community for what they need to improve and where they should be improving and where they should be putting most of their effort. But at this point, it also does feel like this is really late in the game. And for anybody who's all... So, while I think this is nice, and I definitely appreciate giving my feedback, it really needs to be seen just how much of a difference this is actually going to make, because they have to collect the data, and then they have to go through it, and, if you're wondering about what I think of the general feedback that the community gives and how fast this company is to rectifying it, well, we're still waiting on the JP side for our glassy variant / costume that's almost been a year now. It's not even been like a few months. It's like almost a year now on the JP side since that happened. But at the same time, they made the quick switch on Duan, so it's hard to say what the how fast or slow the response is going to be on this. But hopefully they listen to the feedback and make this game a better game. Because to end this video really quickly, I'm just going to make one point. A lot of people constantly see my videos and are like, Umber hates the game. No, I hate what the game has kind of become. I was really hoping after the first year that the grind would decrease and that there would be more of a focus on like content in the game, and maybe some more trials stuff, and the game would generally be a little bit more friendly, and there'd be more of maybe a potential universal shard option, not an EX system which made the game more expensive. I don't like what Wotv has become, but that is something that I will make a video on about later. I don't hate this game. I hate what this game is becoming. An endless grind for a PvP only game because it's easier than making PvE content. And the PvE content just feels shallow to a lot of extent because there aren't really many new enemy types, and it's just kind of the same old tricks. Hey, if you want to make something difficult, throw a ton of enemies at you. make a whole bunch teleport in with incredibly high stats, and really, I guess strategy is just getting high maxed vision cards. So I don't hate this game. I hate what it's becoming, and I really want it to become better, which is why I did this. So I hope this comes to global, if it hasn't come already by the time this video is out. And that's all for now. So tell me, are you excited for the Lara Croft, or are you excited for the survey? A or B, which are you more excited for? Tell me in the comments, and I hope you have a great weekend, and take care of yourself. See you later.